So, what's up, Facebook? What's going on? Good morning. Good morning, Luis. Hi, how you doing, my friend? Good to have you too. For the record, Andy Fankhauser, CEO, founder, Aqua Luxury Consulting. Nice to have everybody here today. I am talking with a very nice lady, Dawn, who we're diving into a little bit of her personal life. I won't go public with all your stuff here, Dawn, I promise. But I'm gonna kind of highlight this episode, if you want, today to kind of bring in some very realistic case studies. All right, Dawn in this case has filled me in prior to going live on some things that affect her life personally. So not going to go into all the details here, guys, but this is things you need to think about. You know, let's say Dawn, for example, is in retirement, right? She's done her 40, 50, 60 years of working hard. She's enjoying her golden years. Say she's a baker or a painter or something like that. She's enjoying herself, right? Life is good. So what does she have in place, or what can you see in your life that is similar to Dawn's that you need put in place to double check and make sure that, hey, when that time is, or not even death and dying, because this is not that type of conversation, what you have in place to make sure that what you leave behind, one, and two, that the burden that you leave behind, because unfortunately everybody does, is as minimal as possible. So first off, real quick, do you have a will or trust in place? Yes, no, pretty straightforward. Will and last testament, I think we're all familiar with that, is basically statements and declarations of who gets what after you're gone. Pretty straightforward. A little bit more intense to that, but you get the idea. Trust, on the other hand, is something you can make before you're gone. That can actually have very specific instructions on what happens to your assets, to your money, to your properties, who gets what happened, you know, do they get liquidated, do they get passed on, etc. and so on. Now, I've seen prices on trusts as low as $2,500, and I've seen them north of 10 grand. Okay. Point there being, please consult with a trusted legal advisor. Please do. Don't DIY that, and I'll get into that in a little bit. And then secondly, just for the record, I am not a lawyer. Don't pretend to be, don't want to be, then go to school for it. In any way, shape, or form, this is legal advice, not legal advice. This is merely my experience of what I've done as a professional banker over 10 years through some serious economic, global and national occurrences that really shook people to the core. So, as I was saying, will or trust in place, designate a person who has legal access to your business accounts. So, I was talking to Dawn, and we were just saying, hey, who else has access to your accounts if you can't get to it, right? If you own a business and you have to pay vendors, or you make deposits, or whatever it is financially, operationally that your business does, who else can do it if you can't? All right. Now, I'll get into that a little bit later because there's a trust factor in that effect, but we'll get into that. Do you have beneficiaries on your bank or financial accounts? Very easy, guys. The reason I do this presentation this early in the morning is that if this sets off a light bulb, or if you don't have it in place yet, or you need to double check, you can go to the bank for the rest of, at some point today and go talk to your banker and so on. All right. Please do it. Call your broker, financial advisor, make sure. Does your business structure include a succession or continuity plan? Who can run the business if you can't, in short? Or who knows what to do with your business if you can't, in short? Is it sold? Is it passed on? Do you know the value of your business, stating today that if your significant other, spouse, wife, husband, whatever, were to sell it, you'd say, hey, don't get any less than $1 million or whatever have you, okay? And then the last one in this category, if you die tomorrow, could someone take over your business without a court order? Believe it or not, if you run an actual entity business, I'm not talking sole prop, which a lot of us have, I do, I'll get into that later, but if it is an entity, it needs to be legally closed out. It just doesn't fall off. So who has the authority to close it out instead of it going out to the court system and probate? Whole purpose of this conversation. So in what sense, describe your current backup plan, if any. Know the risks. So we were getting into this a little bit with Don, and I'll kind of overview it a little bit. So frozen bank accounts. If no one else has access to your accounts, again, business, sole proprietorship included, but if you have things on an automatic payment out, cell phone, electric bill, whatever, if something's getting cranked out, believe it or not, and I hate to put it this way, those companies don't really care that you're gone. They just want to get paid. So if it's on automatic payment, somebody needs to call this company and say, hey, Andy's not here anymore. Could you please cancel the payments? Thank you so much. Because they'll keep tapping the account because they don't know you're gone. And most banks close out an account when it's about $350 to $500 negative. And guess what? Someone has to pay that back. It just doesn't go away, guys. All right. That includes credit cards too, by the way, and I'll get into that later. Delayed or unpaid payroll. Again, sole prop. If you're your business is you, pretty straightforward. But if you don't have employees or you work with 1099 people, not so much employees, but contractors, how are they going to get paid for the work they do on the project that they're involved in with you if you're no longer around? Something to think about. Lawsuits from vendors or clients. Case in point, I had my kitchen redone last summer, right? After a slab leak, which if you're here in Southern California, slab leaks are the worst thing ever for homeowners, pretty much. And he did a great job. If you need any remodel contract work done, please let me know. I'll give you his name and number. But if he had, say, won the lottery halfway through my kitchen, said, "Hey, Andy, you know what? I'm up 157 million. I'm going to go ahead and peace out. Good luck for the rest of your kitchen. Thanks." That doesn't quite work for me, Mr. Contractor. I need you to finish the kitchen because that was what the contract's for. And if you would, please, thank you so much. So if you are a contractual business owner, or you have some sort of made promise that you're going to teach a class, be a leader of a project, whatever, 3, 6, 9 months, a year out, etc., and you cannot fulfill that contract, that leaves you open to lawsuits. Just plain and simple. All right. Business closure or sale under duress. I think I mentioned this, hit on it a little bit earlier. If you have an actual entity business, it needs to be closed out. And we're going to go into a little bit if you have business entities in other states and in other locations, and things can get really ugly really quick. Family disputes over ownership. Now, I was talking to Don about this. I have family, my wife, kids, of course, but my sister too. Does family get along? And if not, who has the authority and who's managing mom, dad's, grandma, grandpa's account to make the calls of who gets what and where? Okay. Money can do really strange things to people. I've seen it. It can get ugly, unfortunately, but at the very least, please try to communicate to get through the process that is distribution. Because if cousin Billy Bob thinks that Dawn owes him an extra $5,000 from 2008 because she helped him get out of debt, and he comes walking in the bank and say, "Hey, look, Dawn's gone, but I need $5,000 out of her account, and he's not a beneficiary," he's not getting it from the bank. Pretty straightforward. All right. So family disputes, do your best to try to squash those to at least get through the process. Employees left without leadership. Again, if you're just running your own ship, but you have 1099 people, or you actually have a payroll, who leads the employees when you're not here? Who's running the ship and they're all, sailors and they don't know where to go? Okay. So it's not just about you. It's about those that you lead and so on. And multiple probate cases. All right, guys. So as I hinted a little bit earlier, if you're like me, registered in California as a business, great. If you're an LLC in California or an S Corp, I believe the yearly California bill is like $800 a year. Little steep. Ouch. I get it. I do believe Delaware, on the other hand, is about $150 a year. Significantly cheaper. However, now you're registered in 2 states because you're registered in California as an actual entity, and you need to be registered in, or Delaware as an actual entity, and you need to be registered in California as a non-resident business. Meaning if you're doing business here in California and you're not registered and you get caught, that is a bad thing. There's fees and fines and so on. So now your family has to manage 2 states' processes, and if you have rental properties and Airbnbs, well, those are those other locations too. All right, so please don't do that. Nightmare scenario: what do you want to avoid at all costs? Okay, probate is not an easy or fun thing to go to. I've seen it take weeks, months, if not years. COVID pretty much set the bar as far as like 18 months. There are probate lawyers out there, God bless them, but yeah, they're not probably that cheap. Okay. Action planning, choose the right legal structure, so LLC or sole prop or S corp. I am, for the record, of sole prop as it stands right now. I know a lot of people who are on this platform alignable, but I have seen more and more people breaking into the food industry, whether it be cakes or muffins or bread or whatever else. That's great. I'm a bit of a cook myself. You can come on over. I'll cook you something. My point being, and I want to bring up a case study here. If you do not list exactly what is in that which you make, and somebody is allergic or has a really bad reaction to all that, and you're a sole prop, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, guys. They need to know what's in it, all right? Even if it's salt, water, sugar, flour, yeast, and that's all, list it, okay? Please list it, all right? Because if you're a sole prop, well, everything with your name on it is on the chopping block to get sued. LLCs, S corps, and a printer, about $2,000 worth of tech. If I get sued because someone doesn't like what I say, please don't. I appreciate it. On the line as an LLC is about $2,000. Your lawyer is going to probably charge that within the first 2 hours. Good luck. All right. Operating bylaws, agreement, death, disability clauses. As I mentioned, if you are any type of contractual work, have it in there somewhere that, hey, if I cannot complete the contract, here's your money back. Or, hey, here's someone else that I know who does really good work, who is familiar with what I do. Here's their name and number to finish the project or finish the kitchen or wherever else. Have some sort of like fallback. Okay. So, please update it within, I say, about 30 days, if not 2 weeks, 14 to 30 days, easily. Pretty straightforward, guys. Who takes over your business if something happens to you? Again, pick somebody. Trustworthy, that is. Set up POD, TOD accounts. Now, I was talking to Don about this before I started. Beneficiaries on accounts is something that's free to do. Yay! Today, right here, right now. Well, after after this. But go to your bank, sit down with a banker, make an appointment, whatever else. Put somebody on the accounts. I know for a fact Chase has up to 6 people that you can put on your account, meaning all those 6 people get an even cut of the balance that's in your account. If it's 2 people, it's 50%. You get the idea. So again, if there's 60 grand in your account and there's 6 people on it, and so easy math, everyone gets 10K, but cousin Billy Bob lent Don 5 grand back in 2008, and he goes in and is like, no, I'm going to need my 15. Don knows, everybody else knows, so yeah, if you could cut me 15 grand, he's not going to get it. Doesn't work that way, guys, okay? Not everybody has to go in at the same time to get their cut. You can space it out, okay? So they don't have to do a family trip to the bank sort of thing. So that's a nice little note there on the side. TOD, transfer on account. I've seen this more often in car titles. If you own a car, there's a actual section on the title that says transfer on death. Write your spouse in, write a kid in, whatever it is, because it just makes their acquisition of that vehicle 1,000 times easier than going in with your death certificate, the title to the DMV and say, hey, they died, I'm the rightful inheritor, and they have to go through that process, and that's a long time. So just make it easy for your people, your loved ones. TLD, transfer on death, title. Okay. Beneficiary, put beneficiaries where available. Again, personal accounts, please do it today. Brokerages, whatever else. Business accounts. And I covered this with Don a little bit earlier. If you have a business account, and this goes back to being an entity or whatever, business accounts do not typically have a beneficiary designation capability. Why? It is an entity. It still exists after you are gone. Ergo, what I mentioned earlier, someone in the family actually has to close down the account with the state or whatever. Unless you have a partner or somebody, it just does not pass automatically to your loved one, to your son, your daughter, your spouse, your whoever. It doesn't work that way. Okay? So now, and I'll get into what to do in that case. Core legal documents, will, live, and trust. I think I covered that earlier. Durable power of attorney. I covered this with Don. Durable power of attorney is something you can assign to somebody, one person, not two, not three, one person, because it creates a possible conflict of interest. Everyone ever had a dispute with a family member? Anybody? Ever? Did you just not get along? Right? Okay. So different viewpoints, especially when it comes to the assets of somebody, and especially if they're significant, having two people tug on the same rope in different directions is just not good. So power of attorney is only for one person. Power of attorney also ends when that person you're a power of attorney for is no longer around. So let's say, for example, I took my family out to vacation and I call up Don. I'm like, hey, Don, hey, I'm going to go travel the world. I'll be back in 6 months. Here's 4 of my 6 accounts I want you to manage. Thanks so much. I'll be back soon. So during my time away, Dawn can go into those accounts. She seems like a very integrity-bounded person, and pay my bills, make my deposits, withdrawals, whatever have you for my business accounts and so on, to the purposes that I gave her. Okay. I come back from my trip. I take the power of attorney back because it is revocable, and Dawn and I are back to being friends again. Yay! Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate you. I'll send you a gift card later. If I die on that trip on a Tuesday, and Dawn goes into the bank on Wednesday to do whatever she needs to do on my accounts, technically she cannot do that. The power of attorney is there ended. Even if she doesn't know it, right? She hasn't gotten word yet or whatever else. Maybe she goes back on Thursday and Friday and so on. She cannot access those accounts because I am not here anymore. I have other plans and other people to step in when that time comes. So be aware of that. Okay? Healthcare directive. Pretty straightforward. This is a person that you have chosen, usually again one person, that minds your healthcare choices if that situation comes. If you've ever been in that situation or have had to have made that call, my heart goes out to you. But as a father, and maybe some of us here are parents as well, if your child is 18 or over, it doesn't necessarily fall back to you as a parent. I've heard that, okay? If they designate Uncle Bob or Aunt Kay as the healthcare directive person, operative, whatever, that's their call, okay? Buy-sell agreements. If your business is more than just you, owned by more than just you. There is a segment here where the trust, if you have one, can actually own the business, but that's a whole deeper, longer rabbit hole. But if you're co-owned, or if I've seen a group of people own 20, 15% each or wherever else, know what your business is worth so that if your partner needs to buy out your share, your family knows exactly what they should be getting. If you sold your business today, what is it worth? Okay? If you have art that you want to be sold to, provide for your kids and grandkids, what is your art worth? You get the idea. Book of business. I know a lot of us, our businesses is here between our ears, and it is worth something. Okay, so make sure that your family gets what's deserving of them if their buyout is needed. And again, a business continuity letter, what happens? Do you want your stuff sold off? Do you want it just donated? If you have supplies, what happens to all that? Rental storage units aren't free. You want your family to pay for a storage unit for all your gear and stuff? If you have storage units, what happens to all that stuff in there? You get the idea. Risk of co-signers and POA. So I hinted to this a little bit earlier. Co-signers and POA is your conscious decision to give somebody full reign over the balances in your account. So, again, to my example, if I go traveling with my family and I give Dawn my power of attorney, and she goes in and sees my 6 figures in the account, which there isn't 6 figures, Dawn, don't get excited. And she goes, wow, I've never taken the grandkids to Disney, and the new 30-year anniversary is coming up. Maybe I can go do that. Well, I technically gave Dawn the authorization to do that, even though I didn't want her to do that. Have a good time, Dawn. We'll talk when I get back. But the point is, again, you are giving somebody full reign over the balances in those accounts, whether they do what you want them to do or not. Co-signers are a business account. So think POA for personal, co-signers for business. Co-signers don't have to be owners of the business. Heck, they don't even have to know what the business does. But what you're doing, again, is giving somebody authorization to manage financially your business when you are no longer around. Or, no, excuse me, when you can't do it. If you have to make deposits, withdrawals, things like that, you're giving that co-signer full access and full authority to come and go as they see fit. So if you and him or her get into an argument or a fight or some type of dispute, and they go into the bank and say, hey, Luis's business account, I need that 50 grand out right now, okay? And then Luis gets an alert that his bank account is empty and comes storming into the bank wondering what happened. Well, Luis, you gave Bob authority to have access to the account, my friend. There's nothing we can do. You get the idea, all right? So trusted person on my account or trust, and I've documented access and limitations. Again, you go to the bank, you assign someone as a co-signer, POA, so on. That's typically full reign, full access, full capabilities to do whatever they want. Limitations work more on like internet access. So if you have somebody, office manager, accountant, whatever, you can typically go through your online banking portal, Chase, Wells Fargo, BofA, whatever, give them temporary access, password, screen name, to do certain things. Pay bills, make deposits, stuff like that. Online only, okay? Not in person. Step 5, secure and communicate, all right? Communication will be, forever has been, currently, and forever will be the best way to run a business, period. If people do not communicate or they don't know what the hell is going on, it is not a good thing. So communicate with people. Hey, honey, hey, husband, my documents are are password protected on my server. It's under daddy's documents or whatever. Here's the password. Could you just let my clients know I can't service them anymore? Boom, done. If you want to be a little bit more 007 about it, hide the key under the left corner of the mattress and the documents are up in the attic on the northwest side. Whatever, man. But store it in a secure location, all right? Let somebody access them. Spouse, partner, business contact, office manager, whatever, guys. Just let somebody know that what's going on. If you have things that you don't want them to know about, this is not that place to tell me. I don't want to know. Okay, that's a whole bigger can of worms I want to get into right now. And then share your contingency plan with key people. Again, does it continue? Does it get sold off? Who of your clients needs to know that you can't do what they want anymore? The example that I gave with the kitchen, hey, if the contractor died halfway through fixing my kitchen, who does the rest of it? I hope you get the idea, all right? Where is your legal documents currently stored? So you have copies of them. Just to back up a little bit, if you do have a trust and you have trustee or trustees, please give them a copy of the trust. Make sure that they read it front to back, know what they're getting into, know exactly what their responsibilities are, and so on. And then I'm gonna also pause here and make this next section very, very, very clear. So Facebook, Alignable, please pay attention. Do not, and I repeat again, do not DIY a trust. Don't do it. Don't ChatGPT AI that thing. Please no, okay? There are people who have gone to school, who have gotten licensed, who've paid a lot of money to know exactly how a trust should be, should say, should look, so on, that the money that you'll put and pay to get one correctly done will be worth its weight in gold. Use AI to create questions or points of interest of what to ask a trust attorney or lawyer, but don't use it to write one out. Okay? Again, I did 10 plus years in banking through the 08 collapse, 08, 09, 010 collapse, and then here through COVID where I had to sit with people and tell them, hey, I'm so sorry, but there was no instructions to distribute the money in this way. You're going to have to wait. Or good luck in probate, or wherever it happened to be. So please, if you're going to do a trust, do it properly, pay someone to do it. And again, they don't have to be expensive, but typically the more involved or the more assets and things that you have, the more detailed it is, the more expensive it is. Pretty straightforward. Special section, fintech and digital banking. So this is a little bit of a newer one for me because it's developed quite a bit over the years. But anyone here familiar with Venmo or Square or PayPal or Stripe or anything like that? Everyone ever went to a food truck or like a farmer's market maybe, and you bought something and they're like, hey, just Venmo me, right? Those companies, by and large, do not have a designated beneficiary capacity. They don't. It doesn't work that way, all right, for whatever reason. I hope they change it, but it typically doesn't. The idea is that those people that have these fintech accounts get the money from wherever they sold their services, etc., and then they pass it on or transfer it over to a legit account, your actual banking account. Hopefully everybody does that. If you know anyone that does have something like that, just tell them, hey, have you transferred your stuff over yet? Because if you are not here to transfer it and you are the only holder of that password and screen name and so on, if they access that account and they are not authorized to do so, it is worst case illegal, okay? But they don't have access to it. It's like spending someone else's credit card or money, you know? So please make a transfer. Know someone that has it on a regular basis, okay? It's pretty easy. 48-hour challenge, guys. So I'm actually doing pretty good on time. What are you going to do in the next 2 days? It's Thursday, right? So we got the rest of Thursday, tomorrow, and then it's the weekend. Thank you, God. So what are you going to do in the next few days? So you can contact an estate attorney. If you don't have one, reach out to me. I have a number of contacts, trusted people that I've worked with. Happy to put you in touch with. And a lot of them give you, 30, 45 minutes of consulting free time to see if it's actually a viable necessity for you to do. I highly believe on them. Do I have one yet? No. Am I getting one? Yes. Okay. List your accounts. All of them. Not just the banking ones. Put down the social media ones. But, for the sake of this presentation, it's financial. Checking, savings, CDs, IRAs, investment accounts, the account you're a trustee on, the account that you're on with your brother, your sister, your mom and dad, you know, everything that has your fingerprint at what bank, you know, you get the idea. List them all. And then make sure they either have one at the very least or multiple beneficiaries on them. Again, as I said, the more beneficiaries on it, the higher the divide among those people. Okay? Create or update your will or trust. If you have one, please update it. If you haven't looked at it in a few years, update it. Rule of thumb, big rule of thumb, big highlight this in yellow, green, red, whatever. If anything changes in your life, change it in the trust. If you sold a property, if you bought a property, if a grandkid is born, if a family member passes away, if the successor trustee passes away, if the successor trustee doesn't want to do it anymore, whatever, update the trust, pay a lawyer a couple $100, whoever it is, change it, update it. All right, COVID did a lot of that to us, and I preached people, please update your trust. Okay, talk to your business partner, family. Again, if someone doesn't know what your business is doing, fine, but they should at least know what to do when you're not here about the business. Okay, it is bad business to leave your contacts or your clients hanging. That's just bad business, right? So when you're not here to do that, somebody needs to inform them that, hey, Luis isn't here anymore. Luis, you're the only one here, man, so I'm gonna pick on you, buddy. Luis isn't here anymore, Mr. Client. I'm sorry to inform you, but here's his next closest business contact. They might be able to help out where Luis left off at. Okay, tell somebody. Okay, all right, and then start a business continuity folder. So I'm going to actually show you a little bit of the beginning of one here in a second. But final notes, resources, please. Hey, come to my website, aqualuxuryconsulting.com. It has a lot of good information, in my personal opinion, and I am updating it regularly because the business world is constantly changing on a regular basis. Okay, since the days I was a banker to now, it's changed a lot. All right, but a lot of this presentation has fundamentally stayed the same. Happily do document review. If you'd like to sit down and set up a one-on-one with your business plan and what to do, I don't charge for that at all. All right, I happily will sit down with you, or you and the spouse, you and the partner, you and whomever, family member, and so on, as I did in banking, and walk through, okay, hey, here's what it would look like, here's what it would feel like. Are you comfortable in taking on those responsibilities? Who would be, so on and so forth, okay? And then business continuity planning services, happy to provide that, and then one-on-one consulting for transition and succession planning, all right? My father, to end this a little bit, my father who served in the military, his whole saying was proper preparation prevents piss poor performance, right? You can have that one for free, put it on a t-shirt, that's on me. I've changing that to proper preparation prevents probate processes. Nice. You can have that one too. Enjoy. Put it on a bumper sticker. So as this presentation has shown you, a little bit goes a long way, guys. Very easy processes, very easy action steps that you can take today, here, now, with your loved ones. And as I like to say, you can deal with the molehill now or in the mountain later. Which would you rather do? Okay. So as I end this, as a start and a bit of a gift for you, this business continuity folder can start here and now with this bonus page. List your business name or business's name. I have two. Your tax ID number. If you are sole prop, typically that tax ID number is your social. If you're an LLC or S Corp, you have an EIN number. Bank accounts, or at what banks? Multiple. If it's multiple, fine. Just list them. Okay. Monthly revenue and expenses. You probably have some sort of account in, account out, money in, money out, Excel, QuickBooks breakdown worksheet, know what's going on. Okay. Payroll provider, if that applies, key logins. Hey, again, if you don't want someone to discover something, this is not this place. And I'm not that person to tell you that. But by and large, as a business owner, let somebody know, password protector or under lock and key, who should take over immediately, or who should be the communication person, who tells who what that you can't do with your business is, and then any special instructions thereafter. Again, if you have tools, if you have machinery, if you have assets, who gets what, where's it sold off, get a fair price, you get the idea. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you coming on by. It's good to see you. Facebook, always good to have you here. As a gift, again, I will give out this to everybody who's attended here today. Facebook, if you like it, please hit me up. Happy to give it to you. And again, the one-on-one consultation, there is no charge for that. I'd rather have a 15-minute conversation with you and your business partner, loved one here today, than getting a call from you in 15 minutes saying, hey, Andy, yeah, that conversation that we didn't have, now my family's neck deep in the probate process or in going through legal and fights and everything else because this and that and the other happened, right? So have that 15 minutes conversation with me, and that one's on the house. So that being said, Facebook, take care. Alignable, we'll stick around and we can talk and fill in any blanks.